one thing I was actually thinking in terms of what we've just seen there is there's actually a way that the story that you tell is a history through typography and cursive writing. And I wonder if there's something that you could, if you want to comment on that aesthetic, and,
Sure.
and is there a meaning or kind of semiotics in the text that you were derived that kind of parallel the narration of the story?
Sure. All of the texts are actually pulled from actual census records. And so they are the names of family members that were listed in census that go back to like 1860. And the logic was I didn't have pictures of these people, but I did at least have this textual document of their existence. And really in putting together the work, I mean, much of it comes together through oral histories, one-on-one interviews with people who couldn't really give me any actual documentation of a person's existence, but again, they could kind of point to approximately when they were born, where they were born, and, you know, trying to articulate Black Canadian existence, or, you know, slave existence for that matter, is a difficult thing. We're not in the traditional history books, and so what I could pull forward that actually proved definitively that these people existed was the census records themselves. There's other things kind of going on in there as well. When making the work, was very conscious of the economy that surrounds the Black body. And people's great need to see the Black body. And when you're talking about slavery in particular, there's a great deal of expectation of a particular type of body. And I wanted to avoid that, kind of put in some kind of a dignified way of representing Black people. So really that's where a lot of that logic comes from.
Excellent. And so in terms of the writing, most of it was not in the hands of your ancestors then? Okay.
No. Most of the handwriting is literally, I'm going to assume that census takers were white. So really we're talking about a white person who's come along and seen a person at the doorstep or in the house and has gone about writing that person's name. And bear in mind, you know, I pulled census records that fit my understanding of that person's name. There are multiple variations of family members' names over the years.
So you're interpreting it?
I'm interpreting it, trying to make sense of, so for example, my great-great-grandfather Reese, I think in 1860 is listed as Reason, and another year it's Reeves, and another year it's Reese, and so I pulled it together to what I knew.
And in terms of the Risby family, is this the same Risby who was in Daphne Martlett and Carol Itter's Opening Door, who was interviewed?
I don't know the piece, but who was the Risby?
Leora?
Yeah, that's my mom.
That's your mom?
Yeah.
And is she also in Hogan's Alley, in Andrea's?
Andrea, is she in it? Okay. Okay. It's the same Risby family.
And so she would have been moving through Via's place down at Hogan's Alley and all of this kind of thing?
Grandma Risby's house is in the middle of Hogan's Alley.
Okay.
So
okay.
yeah, that's me.
And one last question. The thing that's remarkable to me about Canada is that if you look at the Marcus Garvey and UNIA documents that have been compiled by Robert Hill, every pipsqueak town in Canada from Nova Scotia to British Columbia had like one or two UNIA offices. And I'm wondering, were there UNIA offices in Amber Valley? And did your family have any contact with the Garvey movement that you know of?
No. Amber Valley, no, there weren't. There's actually 4 Black settlements. There's Breton, Wildwood, Campsie, and Amber Valley. To my knowledge, these are not politically engaged communities. These are spiritually devout, crazy Christians, but they are not. But they are not interested in politics.
Right. And did the railway pass through Amber Valley? Because I think that's
through Athabasca.
Through Athabasca.
Yeah.
Okay.
So that's where the whole porter culture of Black Canadians going to the South and to the States and picking up political knowledge from there and then bringing it back, and that exchange happens that way. But Amber Valley really is about God and livestock.
Okay. And one question about God and livestock. Did your family ever make a pilgrimage to the giant Easter egg in Vegreville?
I have,
you
but
have?
they haven't. They
okay.
haven't. Yeah, I have. That's
okay.
crazy. That's crazy.
A little bit of Canadianity.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
feel like